some of these people did. So...
For appetizers.
Yeah.
I will be. All right.
The movie opens with an unconscious woman on the floor. She wakes up, dazed, breath shallow, her nose bleeding. The world around her spins. Her eyes dart fearfully, hearing footsteps creak down the stairs. A man appears, his body in shadow, holding a gun. She drags her broken body away from him, moving slowly yet desperately. He stalks behind her as if she were prey. He corners her by the couch, breathing heavily, his eyes wild. His voice is shaky, hysterical, and accusing while he speaks to her. She stares at him with hatred, causing him to shove his gun into her hand. "Show me how you do it! Shoot me!" he yells, his voice frantic with rage and heartbreak. She screams, slowly pressing the trigger. The screen cuts to black, cut to the same woman. Morning light filters through her cozy office. Her name is Violet, and we learn that she is a therapist. She's on a video call with a patient, a former abuse victim. Violet gently guides her through affirmations, helping her recognize her worth. After the session, Violet nervously texts someone named Henry. Suddenly, a knock at her window causes her to jolt. A man stands outside, and for a moment, her breath catches. However, it's just someone checking the meter. Though she exhales, her eyes linger on the man going around her house. Later that day, a toy car rolls across the floor with a note inside, stopping at her feet. It's from her son, Toby, telling her he's playing hide and seek. She smiles and searches for him, pretending not to notice his hiding spot. She pretends to be surprised when he jumps out, giggling, and they play sword fighting. Her sister Jen arrives, and Toby runs to her joyfully. Jen immediately comments on the outfit she chose to wear, saying she'll help her fix it. We see her sister reading about abulia, a decision paralysis. They bicker playfully while Violet tries on outfits. We find out she's going on a date, and she's extremely nervous. She's afraid he'll end up like her ex. Jen reassures her gently and helps her pick an outfit. Violet, now more confident, mentions the house rules to her sister and points out that there are cameras in the house before leaving for the date. At a fancy restaurant, Henry texts her that he'll be late and she should order something expensive. The hostess greets her, and she heads to the bar to wait for him. She bumps into a guy on her way there, hinting at her nervousness. She chats with the bartender, a kind woman with whom she bonds over both being moms. An awkward, older man named Richard approaches her, mixing her up with his date. He sat nearby and shared that he's also on a first date. The pianist unexpectedly sits next to her and tries to flirt, offering to play any song she requests. Violet jokingly requests Baby Shark, Toby's favorite. He jokes with her to not forget to tip, and leaves. Soon, Richard's date arrives, and she looks disappointed. Violet feels a pang of sympathy for him. Then her phone buzzes. A weird meme, a faceless number with the username of Let's Play. She brushes it off, but she gets another meme saying, "You'll have the worst night of your life." Concerned, she looks around, hoping to catch the person. Henry finally arrives, handsome, charming, and funny. Violet is nervous, but instantly smitten. They sit at their table. He takes a hockey puck out of his bag, saying it is a gift for Toby. Violet's heart melts. She thinks he is very sweet for the gesture. Her phone buzzes again. Another meme. She tells Henry, but he brushes it off as a prank. Then, one of the memes has her name on it, and her smile falls. Henry explains that, in the restaurant, it's normal for everyone to know each other's names, calming her for a bit. Henry searches for who it could be, and we watch Violet slowly falling for him. Unexpectedly, a text message arrives. "Check your security cameras." She does, and quietly gasps. A masked man is in her living room, staring at the camera holding a gun. Let's Play texts her. If she tries to leave, tells anyone Toby dies. Let's Play has her phone and the restaurant's cameras cloned, as well as mini audio recorders hidden everywhere. She bumps into the man from earlier again and heads to the bathroom. Once there, she tries to ask for help from some girls. A text interrupts and warns her again. Back at the table, she pretends everything is all right, but Henry catches on. She lies, telling Henry she's just afraid of heights. They try to switch tables, but Let's Play forbids it. The hostess says Henry requested that table specifically, and he denies it, confused. Violet is instructed to steal Henry's camera's SD card. She hides her watch in her purse and pretends it got lost. While he's asking the hostess for it, she rummages through his bag and finds the camera. She realizes that there is classified information on the mayor in the camera before taking the SD card. Let's Play tells her to destroy it and flush it in the toilet. Once she does, she gets a text telling her to check the towel dispenser. Inside was a tiny bottle, poison. She's ordered to spike Henry's drink. She resists at first, not wanting to kill Henry, until Let's Play says she's done it before. Violet approaches the register while the hostess is distracted by other guests. She uses the restaurant's phone, tries calling 911. The line is cut. As soon as she texts a crisis center, it's intercepted, leaving her distraught and hopeless. She grows suspicious of the man she's walked into twice, that he could be Let's Play. Henry thinks she changed her mind and doesn't want to be here anymore. He cancels the meal and tries to leave. She kisses him to keep him there, saying she wants to stay, and he accepts. That's when Richard's date leaves in anger, calling him a jerk. Violet feels sympathetic towards him. At that moment, the pianist plays Baby Shark. Violet looks hopefully at him. She writes her home address on a bill and tips the pianist with it. Later, the pianist spots the address while getting a new drink. He looks at her, afraid but does nothing. Her meal arrives, and as she starts eating, she finds the same bill under the salad. She gets a text. "You screwed up." The pianist stands up dizzy and faints. His drink was poisoned, and he dies soon after. She looks at her security camera, showing the masked man knocking her sister unconscious and locking Toby in his room. She begs Let's Play not to kill her family, and they tell her to finish the job. Violet asks Henry to take a shot of tequila. He hesitates at first, but soon agrees. She goes to the bar counter, asking the kind bartender for 2 shots. She asks Violet if she wants lime with the drink, and she refuses. She returns to find Henry, who noticed her watch in her bag earlier, confronting her about it. She gets a flashback. Her abusive husband standing over her holding his gun. She couldn't pull the trigger. He grabs the gun from her hands, points it toward their baby. She can still hear Toby's cries. She comes back to the present, she opens up to him, and he does the same. She dismisses his compliments, telling him she never really left, that she's still in that room. He, in turn, shares how he was betrayed by someone he trusted, and that guilt weighs on him, knowing many people got hurt. He speaks of a chance for hope, and Violet is overcome with tears of relief and joy. She lies to Henry that she forgot the limes, and he heads to the bar to get them. While he's gone, she spikes his drink at their table, where Let's Play demands it happen. The bartender asks him if Violet changed her mind about the limes, making Henry suspicious. Violet nearly lets him drink the shot, but can't. She spills wine on him to stop him. Henry makes his way to the bathroom to clean himself. At that moment, she realizes the man she bumped into isn't Let's Play, it's someone else. Just then, the bartender walks up to her to clean up. She noticed Violet was anxious the whole night, so she asks if everything is all right with Henry, and if she needs help. She also mentions that the older man, Richard, has been watching her all night. Then it clicks. Violet approaches him with her 2 shots. They talk normally at first, and then he calls her Violet. She never told him her name. He is Let's Play. He forces her to sit. He reveals that Henry is an informant. Violet was the perfect pawn. Her trauma, her history, her dead husband. Her fingerprints were on the gun he used, and even her poisoning attempt was caught on camera. It would be easy to frame her. Violet gets another flashback. Her ex-husband, trembling and sobbing, holds the gun at Toby. The police showed up, making him shoot himself. She wasn't the one who killed him. Snapping back to the moment, she hears Richard say that he threatened the pianist not to do anything and poisoned his drink. Richard orders a dessert for himself before Henry comes up to their table. She gives Henry a look. She grabs the poison shot, gives it to him, and he drinks it. Henry comes back to their table, and she tells Richard to call the masked man off, and he does. Violet observes Richard eating, noting that his dessert is the same one her ex-husband ordered the last time he took her out. She said that just like she learned to pretend that everything was fine back then, she pretended to poison Henry's shot. Richard pauses and looks at his plate. She poisoned his dessert. He slams the table in fury and pulls out a gun. He almost shoots her, but Henry takes the bullet instead. The bartender intervenes, trying to help her, but Richard stabs her. Richard corners Violet and orders Toby's death. Violet uses the hockey puck, the gift from Henry, to shatter the window. Wind pulls Richard out, and he falls to his death. She gets pulled out too, but Henry catches her hand, saving her. An ambulance is heard in the background, coming for Henry and the bartender. Violet drives home in panic. She calls her sister, and Jen does her best to keep herself and Toby alive. The masked man shoots her, making her pass out. Violet bursts in, making the masked man go downstairs. She grabs a knife and stabs him in the back, just like the moment she played hide-and-seek with Toby. In the struggle, the man overpowers her. She desperately crawls away from him. He stalks after her. recreating the night her ex committed suicide. The man removes his mask, revealing himself to be the man who asked about the meter. Toby, using his toy car, drives the masked man's gun to his mom. She grabs it. This time she doesn't hesitate. She pulls the trigger. Later, the news shows the mayor getting arrested. Henry, recovering in the hospital, watches with satisfaction as the classified information finally goes public. Violet arrives with smoothies and lunch. Suddenly, Violet gets a text from let's_play_again, mocking her outfit. For a second, her heart skips. But it's just her sister teasing her. Once Jen returns to her room, Violet and Henry share a moment, making plans for a second, blissfully boring date. Violet playfully asks Henry which smoothie flavor he prefers, if he's a chocolate girl or a strawberry girl. With a smirk, Henry picks up the strawberry smoothie. "Oh, I'm a strawberry girl," he says. The movie closes on them, bathed in the soft sunlight from the hospital window. She speaks softly, her words just for him to hear. He listens, sipping his smoothie, eyes fixed on her with quiet admiration. They're finally at ease, wrapped in the unspoken comfort of simply being in each other's presence. That's all for today, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn the notifications on. Stay safe and see you next time.